Hi guys, it's Brad here from Bespoke Systems, and today I'm going to show you how I install my custom coloured Neo shade. It was shade 22, but I've custom coloured it to be slightly lighter and more ashy. And I am going to show you how I install this using my favourite tapes, which are ultra hold for around the curvatures. So this will be great at the back. This is my favorite tape, Extender Bond, and the reason I love Extender Bond is because it's got these holes going through. It allows the heat to disperse through the tape, which allows the tape to stay in form for longer without breaking down under the system and on the scalp. Also, the Extender Bond has a semi-dull finish, so you can use it right up to the hairline and not get any reflect. So first things first, I'm going to spray some alcohol spray on the system, and then I am going to allow this to dry in with a hairdryer, and this will prep the base ready for me to install my tapes. So before I jump into the shower and clean my scalp, I've got a little bit of regrowth, as you can see, some dark where I've gone blonde. So what I'm going to do is just take my mini clippers, these like mini foilers, and I'm just going to remove that hair, and then when I get into the shower I'm going to use some detergent to cleanse my hair of any oils, or cleanse my scalp of any oils. So I'm just out the shower, and my next step is to take some alcohol and a cotton pad, and then I am just going to make sure that there is nothing else left on the scalp. And you can see there's a tiny little bit of grime. Now I'm going to let this dry in, and I am going to start taping up my system. So first things first, we're going to dry in the hair system and make sure it's nice and dry. And now I'm going to start taping it up. Use big long strips to cover that whole area. So we're going to go one big long one there. Give it a pat down, and then we're going to do the same on the other side, and then we're going to go a similar side. So we go from there and we go about do it there. I'm going to use one of these ultra hold minis, and we'll go in the curvature. So we go one here, what I like to do is kind of measure up with the base, and then do a little cut on the side, and it gives us a little bit of a curvature. And then this should fit in that little space at the back perfectly. Let's have a little look. Perfect. And how you know if you've got a good base is the tape shouldn't lift off the lace. If the tape, when you remove it, if the tape starts peeling off of the lace, then you know there's going to be some oils still stuck on the lace. The tape tends to stick to the skin, but if it peels off of the lace part, you know that there's some oils still present on that lace. So now I'm just going to fill in the little gaps that I have with some Extender Bond. That will sit over there. Perfect. So now I'm going to remove these bits on the skin at the front and go in and do the hairline with Extender Bond. Maybe do on the front, we do a little cut to give it an angle. We put that one right at the front so we know that is covered. One. There. There. So a little tip that I have is I am going to use a bit of washing up liquid on the scalp before I jump in the shower, and this will start dehydrating the scalp. It will get rid of all those oils and all of that grime that's on the scalp beforehand. You don't have to use washing up liquid, but I tend to use it because it's a really strong detergent and it removes loads of oils that might have built up overnight. So now all the tapes are installed. I like to give myself a sort of 10-minute break. I like to get a little cotton pad again and just go over my head one last time. Reason being is it can be quite stressful putting the tapes on, and if I've built up a bit of a sweat, I like to just make sure I've taken all of those oils off. And then what I'll do is I'll get my diffuser on very cold air, so very cool air, and I will take a comb and I'll start brushing down my sides. So this is cool air, and all I'm going to do is just put this into place, and at the same time it's going to cool down my scalp, ready for the installation. So finally I can go on to the installation. I'm going to put a little dot in the middle so I can see that little white dot. So what I tend to do is I lift up the back of the system with my fingers, as like so. I line up the front, so I try to get it right into the middle, and then I'm looking for where that dot is, and I want to put it just above that dot. And then once I've got it anchored in the middle, I bring the sides down, and then I just wiggle my way back. And what I'm trying to do as I'm going back, I'm just maneuvering the hair out of the way with my fingers, making sure that nothing's getting in between the tape and the system. Then once I've got it to a certain point, I can maneuver the back down. Perfect. Perfect. And then I can take a little bit of cotton pad with some alcohol on it and just remove that dot. And I've installed